Right, so today I thought I'd do a quick video about how I actually do a hair analysis. A number of you have asked how this process works, so I thought the easiest thing to do would be to do a little bit of a video to show you, much easier than trying to explain in words. You must excuse my very amateur videoing here. I'm sure I'm not going to be nominated for an Oscar anytime soon, but hopefully it'll work. Also, apologies that it's a little bit dark, but the light in the room actually reflects off the screen and you can't see it very well. So bear with me and we'll see how it goes, eh? So first of all, this here is your hair sample. There's a lot in here. I wouldn't normally need this amount of hair. I've just done a bigger hair sample here so that you can see it. But normally we would only need a couple of strands from your hairbrush, or a comb would be absolutely fine. So we put the hair sample, if you can see here, on the smaller mat. Now the ones of you that have been into the practice for treatment will know, this will look vaguely familiar, because you know that when you're actually here in person for treatment, that you sit on a larger version of this. So by having the hair sample sat on the mat there, to me it's like having you here in person. So it's exactly the same. I have to say I do get more stimulating conversations from my clients than I do from the hair samples, but then we all have to compromise, don't we? So I use a hair sample. Now your hair sample contains an energetic imprint of you. So as I've just said, it's like having you here with me. You can use blood, urine, saliva, all work the same. And again, for those of you that have had treatment in the practice, you'll know that we often use a saliva sample as part of that treatment. Obviously, when we're sending things through the post and so on and so forth, I find that hair is much easier for everybody to deal with, and that's why I use hair, but it works the same. So as I say, your hair contains that energy imprint of you, so it's like having you here. So by having it on the sheet here, we've got you included in the circuit of the machine, so I can pick up the energy. We then run through exactly the same treatment protocol as I would do if you were here in person. So if we move over to the screen, I don't know how clearly you can see that. I'll do my best. Yeah, that's not so bad. You'll see here that we can test all the main things. So this is giving you a little bit of an overview of the Rain-X system that I use as well. So that you can see here that we can test for the e-smog. If you can see that, there's the geopathic stress. So these are the main causes of ill health, main causal factors. We've got the acidity base there. Here we've got the vitamins and minerals. So just to open that one up so you can see it's a little bit more detail. We can test for the minerals there. So if you see, we've got all the minerals. As I say, apologies, it's not very clear, but it gives you a bit of an idea. These are the trace elements, so we can test for any deficiencies that you may have there. If we go back to the main list, so we've got the causal factors there. If you can see there, we have all the main systems in the body. We can also look for the pathogens, so the bacteria, the viruses, the parasites and the fungi there. And we've also got additional things on there such as stress, the psyche and so on and so forth, about flower remedies there and so on. So we run through the test like that, and it's very easy. I don't know if you can see this, I'll do my best to show you. So we would go into a test. If we select e-smog there, that's loading up. We would then run through those tests just as we do in practice, just as I do when you're here. And if we get a linear motion, this isn't showing very clearly at all, but hopefully you can see it a bit there. Can you see the Rayer tensor? This is the Rayer tensor here. So this is our method of seeing what's going on. So we test through it. If we get a circular movement like that, then everything's fine. If we get a linear like that, we know we've got a disturbance. So as I say, those of you who are familiar with treatment in practice will know that's exactly what we do when you're here with us. Same process completely. So once we've done that full analysis and we know what where the disturbances are in the body, then we can close this down and we can go into this side of it. And here, as you see, we have all the same programs again, but these are what are called the harmonizing programs. So these are the those frequency programs that we can give to you in order to address those disturbances. So if we just select a few here, so meridians is a key one that we tend to use in every treatment because it helps with getting the energy moving. We might have some E-smog disturbances there, some geostress. If we have a look in the immune system, so important for just now, the immune system, so we can run a program to boost that immune system. So we've got a selection here. Obviously, if we did a full analysis, there would be more programs here. So if we press the start harmonization, the machine is now going to run those programs. If you see, it's just loading up. We'll just give it a minute. It's a bit like watching an egg timer on a computer, isn't it? There we go. So it's now running the program. So what's happening now, if I move it over here, you can see that this is the remedy bottle here, and it's sat in the cup here. Those programs are now getting transferred to that remedy bottle. And again, those of you that have been into practice for treatment will be familiar with this. So that as we're doing that treatment with you in person, we're also making up a remedy bottle at the same time, which you then take away and use in between treatments to top up that treatment. It's exactly the same principle. So the frequency programs are running into the remedy, they're held in there, and that's your treatment in there. So when we're doing the hair analysis, I then send this back to you, and then you take this at home. So the only difference is when you're here in person, you get the treatment there and then we use the remedy to top it up. When you're having a hair analysis, you actually get your treatment delivered to you over a period of days and weeks through taking the remedy at home. The result is exactly the same. It's just a different method of delivery. So I hope that's helped. As I say, apologies for the terrible recording. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of an idea about how it works. If you do have any more questions about the hair analysis and the process, etc., then just let me know. Just ask away. For some of you who may not have seen bioresonance working, or certainly the Rain-X machine that I use working, I've probably just set off a whole pile more questions. But again, just feel free to ask. And if I have a lot of questions and you can bear me doing another video, as bad as this one is, then maybe I'll do one to explain how bioresonance works at some point in the future. Okay then, bye for now.